Hey everyone, it's Rajiv and welcome back to my channel Rajiv's Reviews. In this video, I'm going to be giving my book review of Tell Me Your Dreams by Sidney Sheldon. Tell Me Your Dreams was Sidney Sheldon's more well-known books, and it was very popular in the 90s when it released. The story revolves around three women who are Ashley Patterson, Toni Prescott, and Alette Peters. Ashley is this workaholic, but she's also a bit paranoid because she feels like somebody is always following her. Toni is this extrovert singer who likes meeting men online for dates. And Alette is an artist who loves going to museums and exploring culture. However, all of these three women are somehow connected to these brutal murders of men, which would be impossible because they were nowhere near the crime scene when it happened. Or are they? As the story continues, you start to realize what is really happening and who is responsible for the murders. And the second half of the book is this gripping court case trial that happens to give the verdict to the murderer. So this is how I feel about Tell Me Your Dreams. I have read almost all Sidney Sheldon novels, and I can say that he mainly writes two types of novels which he is very famous for. The first type is mainly the rags to riches storyline about this normal woman who's betrayed and she rises to the top of her game and she vows revenge, and there's a lot of drama, and these are famous in his books like The Other Side of Midnight and If Tomorrow Comes and The Stars Shine Down. The second type of books that he is very famous for is his conspiracy thrillers like Windmills of the Gods and The Doomsday Conspiracy. So with Tell Me Your Dreams, I think he stepped away from both of these two formulas and he went back to the roots with a psychological thriller similar to his very first novel, The Naked Face, which was also a huge hit during its time of release. And that's why I think Tell Me Your Dreams worked so well for him, because it was a long time since he had written such a novel which stepped away from his other, at that time, recent works that he had become famous for. I think Tell Me Your Dreams is one of those books that you will never forget because there is this shocking twist that happens in the middle of the book that just comes out of nowhere and it will leave you in shock, and you will always remember this book mainly because of that. I had read this book initially when it released back in the late 90s. So now that I was rereading the book, I already knew what the twist was going to be. But I still enjoyed it nevertheless because it was fun to read through the progress to see if the author had made any loopholes prior to the twist. And it's safe to say that I could not find any, and I thought the author covered his tracks really well in plotting the story. I think I enjoyed the court trial scenes more at the second half of the book because I could not recall how that turned out to be. So that whole second half was again new to me, and I enjoyed reading that a lot. As in most of Sidney Sheldon books, there's a lot of twists and turns, and just when you think that the protagonist is not going to able to succeed in what he is hoping for, he will come up with this really wild idea that will just seem to work and he will have a breakthrough. But it's so much entertaining to read all of this. All the characters are so unique and distinctive in their own way, whether it be Alette or Toni or Ashley. In fact, I like Toni and Ashley better than Alette because I felt like Alette was weaker compared to these two, and she did not really have a prominent presence in the story like the other two did. David is wonderful as the male lead, and I was rooting for him so much as he tries to save Ashley from the court dilemma and all the things that he goes through to save his own career and his reputation and his family as well. You can also tell from the story that Sidney Sheldon has really done his research on this topic prior to talking about it in the story. Like I mentioned in my other videos, his style of writing is so simple and unique, but it's so gripping and mesmerizing that you just have to keep turning the page to find out what happens next. I really like the way in which Sidney Sheldon spoke about both sides to the concept which they talk about in this book. So whether you are a believer of this concept or even if you are not a believer of it, then you still have your own thoughts and opinions, and It was nice to see how the author incorporated both sides during the court trial scenes. The only thing which I really did not like in the story was the father character. Once you read this book, you realize what an awful character the father figure is. And there should have been some justice given to all of his wrongdoings, but the author never seems to provide any closure to that character, which I thought was so unfair. He just lets the character get away with all the dastardly things he has done and live his life to the fullest, which I really was a bit frustrated about. But overall, other than that, I really loved everything about this book. While this may not be in my top three Sidney Sheldon novels, it is still very entertaining to read, and I would give it a rating of 4 out of 5 stars. If you liked watching this video, then please do like, share, and subscribe, and please click on the bell notifications icon to get notifications on whenever I post something new. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.